Imagine a man so adventurous that his very name became synonymous with travel. A man whose journey stretched across 87 countries, who dined with world leaders, danced in foreign lands, and rode through deserts, mountains, and cities, all on his humble scooter. This is the story of Moshood Adisa Olabisi Ajala, or as Nigerians fondly remember him, Ajala the Traveller. But Ajala was more than just a man on the move. He was a symbol of wandered lost, a cultural ambassador, and a man whose life story was as dramatic as it was inspiring. Today on Everything Sociology 24, we dive into the thrilling, chaotic, and unforgettable life of Africa's most famous globetrotter. Please remember to kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Ajala's story begins in Ghana in either 1929 or 1934. Records remain hazy. He was born into a large Nigerian family, 4 wives, 30 children. Ajala was the 25th. From early on, it was clear Ajala was restless. His family later relocated to Nigeria, where he studied at Baptist Academy in Lagos and Ibadan's Boys High School. But the classroom walls couldn't contain his imagination. He dreamed of something far greater, of continents, culture, and stories waiting to be discovered. At 18, Ajala sailed across the Atlantic to the United States to study pre-medicine at the University of Chicago. But his heart wasn't in medicine. Instead, in June 1952, he did the unthinkable. He mounted a bicycle and rode from Chicago to Los Angeles, a journey of about 2,280 miles across 11 cities. In every stop, he lectured Americans about Africa, not the caricature they imagine of loincloth-wearing natives, but the Africa of culture, intellect, and dignity. By the time he reached Los Angeles 28 days later, he was a star. The mayor himself, Fletcher Boron, welcomed him. America had found its first taste of Ajala the Traveller. Hollywood came calling. Ajala appeared in White Witch Doctor alongside Robert Mitchum and Susan Hayward. It seemed like destiny, but Ajala's flamboyant life soon collided with reality. Immigration officers pursued him for bad checks, missed classes, and a broken rule. Facing deportation, Ajala staged one of the most dramatic protests in American immigration history. He climbed an 80-foot radio tower, threatening to jump if sent to Nigeria. After 13 hours, he fell, luckily surviving with only a sprained back. He declared his fast a Ramadan hunger strike. The stunt grabbed headlines. Eventually, Ajala was deported, but not to Nigeria. Instead, he landed in London, still alive, and definitely still restless. In 1957, Ajala embarked on what would define his legend, the Vespa World Tour. With just a scooter, an agbada, and limitless courage, he set off to cover 30,000 miles across 40 countries. Instead, he surpassed even his own ambition. In 6 years, he visited 87 countries. From India to the Soviet Union, from Israel to Iran, from China to Australia, Ajala left his mark everywhere he went. In India, he rode 6,500 miles, from Amritsar to Bombay. In Iran, he crossed 950 miles, from Moscow to Tehran. In Israel, he met Golda Meir. In the Soviet Union, he nearly got arrested for walking too close to Nikita Khrushchev. And always, Ajala carried his culture with him, wearing Yoruba agbada described by foreign journalists as elaborately flowered robes. His scooter was decorated with graffiti and mementos resembling today's Lagos danfos. Wherever he went, Ajala was unmistakable. But Ajala wasn't just about chasing adventure, he was documenting humanity. His articles appeared in newspapers from Lagos to Sydney. He interviewed students in Russia about life as Africans in the Soviet Union. He wrote about Aboriginal struggles in Australia and the plight of Palestinian refugees. In 1963, he published his memoir, An African Abroad. This wasn't just a travelogue. It was a mirror reflecting the politics, struggles, and humanities of a rapidly changing world, told through the eyes of a fearless African traveler. When Ajala returned home, he was already a legend. His name entered Nigerian pop culture. Chief Ebenezer Obey sang. Ajala traveled all over the world. Ayinde Barrister and King Sunny Ade also immortalized him in music. But wealth and fame are fleeting. Ajala, ever the socialite, squandered much of his earnings, lived a lavish lifestyle. He barely had any savings and lived in a miserable rented apartment in Bariga, Lagos State, Nigeria. On February 2nd, 1999, Nigeria's most famous traveler passed away in a general hospital far from the glitz and glamour that once surrounded him. His daughter, Aurora Mazutani Dupelola Ajala, wrote a memoir about his life. Ajala may have died poor, but his name lives forever. In Nigeria to this day, when someone travels endlessly, we call them Ajala. He wasn't perfect, he was flamboyant, controversial, sometimes reckless, but he was also bold, curious, and deeply human. Ajala's life reminds us that adventure isn't just about miles traveled. It's about daring to see the world differently, to connect with people, and to tell their stories. And in that sense, Ajala the Traveller will always remain with us. A man who showed the world that Africa had voices worth hearing and dreams worth chasing. If you thoroughly enjoyed watching this video, please kindly subscribe to my channel at Everything Sociology 24. Drop a comment and also share and like this video. Thank you.